Hi my little shardies, welcome and welcome back. Today I have something super special for you guys. I know I usually focus on adult coloring, but my other passion is paper. So today I'm going to transform this pack of paper, well a couple sheets of it anyway, this 5x8 notebook and this piece of cardstock into a beautiful stocking stuffer that you can share with your family and friends, or even maybe sell at a craft fair. I made these for my friends and family last year, and ever since everybody has been asking me to make them some more or to show them how to make them. So this video is not only for you guys but for them. Before I get into the how-tos, I want to show you this paper pad I picked up. It's by the Paper Studios. It's called Mistletoe Lodge. I purchased it at Hobby Lobby. It has some absolutely beautiful designs in it. And today I think we're going to use this reindeer design that's here. But I'll do a super fast flip through and kind of show you some of the designs that's in there. Figured this was the perfect paper pad to make some Christmas stocking stuffer notebooks. I love all the plaids that are in here. There's a lot of winter type ones, but you don't have to do just a Christmas pad. You can do any kind of paper that you want. I bought this just for this page right here. I love this design. And today I think we're going to use this one. And it has 3 papers for each designs. And you will need 1 paper to complete this notebook. Sorry about that. So that's Mistletoe Lodge, and again I got it at Hobby Lobby. I'll see if I can find a link to the Amazon one below, but any paper pad will do. You're going to need a few things to make this happen. You're going to need some notebooks. I got this pack at Sam's Club. I believe it was like $10, and there's 24 of them in there. Again, they are 5x8. I'm sorry, I opened it to take one of the pads out. And it's 50 sheets per pad. The best thing about this notebook is I made it so you can take the paper pads out and replace them as needed. Alright everyone, I am going to put a link to all of these items I discuss in the description box below, so just go ahead and click there and it'll give you a direct link over to Amazon, but you can pick this stuff up pretty much at any craft location. So you're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard. You're going to take the first one and you're going to basically cut it in half. So it's going to be 8.5 by 5.5. This is an 11-inch sheet, so you want to cut it on the short side. And then on the second sheet, you're going to need an 8.5 by 3/8 inch piece. That's all you need out of the second sheet. I couldn't squeeze it out of the first one. You'll also need 1 small notebook. This is 5 by 8 inches, and all the measurements for this book are based off of this size pad of paper. If you choose another size, you'll just have to redo the measurements according to that size paper. And again, I got the 24 count of these from Sam's Club. You'll need a couple sheets of cardstock that match your pattern paper. This is black because I really like the way it looks with my pattern paper. You'll need to cut 2 8 3/8 by 5.5 inch pieces, 1 3/8 by 8 3/8 inch spine, 1 piece that is 3 6/16 by 5.5, and I went ahead and I scored it 1/4 inch on 3 sides. I cut the corner out and then I did a little bit of a slit this way. That's what you're going to need to do. This is going to be a pocket. So again, this is 3 6/16 by 5.5. And you'll need 1 piece that's 5 3/4, and you want to score both sides at the 1/4 inch. That way you can fold it like that. You're also going to need 1 12-inch sheet of pattern paper. And you're going to cut it at the 9-inch mark. So it'll leave you 2 pieces like that. You're going to leave this 9-inch piece alone. Out of this strip, you're going to cut 4 15/16 right across here. So you have a spot like this. And then out of this side, you want to go ahead and cut a strip that is approximately, well, you don't want it shorter, but you want 5.5 inches. And the width of it, you're going to determine later. So the width of that is going to be whatever the top part of your binding is on your little notebook here, because this is going to be cut so it fits across here. So you want to measure this here, and out of the remainder on this side, you're going to cut this piece that will fit across this part. You're also going to need 1 4-inch piece of ribbon. I cut and tapered the end, and then I used a lighter to try to clean it up a little bit. You're going to need 2 small earth magnets. Again, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description box below. I believe these are 8 millimeters by 1 millimeter thick. You don't have to get this many, I just got this many. So I think you can get them in like 10 packs. This is a 100 pack that I have. And you're going to need some double-sided tape. Get this if you'd like. Or some glue. I prefer to use this art glitter glue. I've had it forever, so sorry it's in not the greatest condition here. This stuff is great because it doesn't make your paper wrinkle, so I like to use this instead. You can use the double-sided tape. I think today I'm not going to use the double-sided tape. I like it better that it's not moving around much, so I am going to use this instead. Some other items you may need are a ruler, pen or pencil, paper trimmer, and a scoreboard with a bone knife. You also may want to consider getting some embellishments if you would like to decorate this a little bit and jazz it up some. It's completely up to you how far you want to go with this. I'm going to lay this on my scoreboard just so you can see it, because the back of the paper is white. It's blending in with my desk. So I took the 9-inch piece of my 12 by 12 paper that I cut, and along the bottom I put a 1/4 inch line. And then in the middle of that line, I marked the 6-inch mark, which would be halfway. And then I came in a 1/4 inch on each side and marked that. What we're going to do is glue these 8.5 or 5.5 by 8.5 pieces down to these spots. And what I did with this one is I went to the halfway point and I matched it up with my line here. That way you could just lay it on there. So you want to glue all 3 of those pieces down. In between each piece here, you want to like take another piece, or you can take another piece and kind of prop it up so you can slide this piece right up to it when you put it in there. And I'll go ahead and glue this and be right back. When you're done gluing it down, it should look like this. So your pattern is on this side and your glued boards are on this side. Now I'm going to line this up on my scoreboard, and right along this edge, as close as I can get to it, I'm going to score down. I don't want to rip the paper, but I do want to create a line for the paper to bend. You're not going to be able to see it on there. And you're going to go around all 4 sides and do that. You want to also score next to each one of these. So now I'm going to cut the corners the same way I did the pockets that I showed you earlier. Alright, this is the hard part. So you want to start on your short sides and just kind of start bending the paper up a little bit. Not all at one time, because if you do, your paper is going to rip. So just a little bit. You want to start working your paper along that score line. You don't want to fold it all the way over immediately, because if you do, you will rip the paper. So just slowly, each time, bend it a little bit further. Finally, kind of curl it over. Now I usually wait until I'm ready to glue to do this, but after you have it bent over, you can take your bone knife. Yeah, that's how I usually wait until I glue it to do that. Kind of help it along a little bit. And then just work your way around doing the same thing. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut a slit here and there. And then I'm going to cut another slit next to these sides right here. We're going to wind up folding this piece up like that. I feel like today I have the world's dullest pair of scissors. These two little pieces, you can actually trim off or hide up in the spine, like fold it up. I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to put it just the smallest amount of glue under these little folds. Take my bone knife and push them down. I don't know if I got any glue on that side. Alright, so now you're going to go along your folded edge and put some glue on that little tab. What I like about the art glitter glue is it dries clear, so if you get some on your desk surface or on your chipboard, you won't see it when it dries. So I'm just putting a bead there because I want to make sure that it really holds this paper down. And you're just folding it over and pushing it so it's nice and firm, and then sliding it out, sliding the glue out. You may have to hold it down for a second before you're able to slide it. But you want that snug and firm because you want a really nice edge. Let me take my bone knife, and I'm pressing down and sliding across just to make sure it's down. I don't want to rip the paper, so be gentle when you do this. I'm going to go to the other short side. Oh, this is what it should look like. So I'm going to go to the other short side, and I'm going to do that again. You only want to do one side at a time because you do not want the glue to start drying before you're able to put this down. So again, hold it for a second and then start working out from that area. Push it rolling up and out. If you squared off your corners, they'll look like that. I'm going to go on my other side, do the same thing. You want to start working your book closed. And then do the other side. If you do not score in between, your paper will rip if you just try to shut the book. So you want to kind of work the paper thread. And when you're all done, this is what it looks like. That's the basic outside. So you want to take your piece of ribbon that you cut, and somewhere around the halfway point, you don't have to measure or anything, but somewhere around the halfway point, you're going to want to put this. And depending on how far you want this to close, remember there's going to be a little booklet in here. So you want to leave a little extra room there. It's going to depend on how far over you want the ribbon. So if you don't want it as long, you can cut it or tuck it a little further in. Let me give myself a little bit of space here, so I'll do it about that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue the ribbon down. And I don't like it there, sorry, I'm going to move it up. And again, you can put that ribbon wherever you want to put it. And ignore that, I'm covering it up, so I don't care. Alright, now I'm going to glue down two of my pieces. I'm not gluing this side down yet. I'm going to go ahead and glue the thin black piece of cardstock to the center spine here. And I'm trying to eyeball it because I'm going to want it about the same as the pieces on each side here. I'm going to take one of my pieces of paper, I'm going to put it over here. So if it's a little too wide, you can trim it down a little bit, but what I'm trying to do is get it about the same height as the one I put over here, about the same distance around. So I want to cover up just to the edge. I do not want to go past the edge on this side. You don't want to go into the spine. And then on this side, I just want a little bit of the pattern showing, not a lot. And then I'm going to go ahead put some glue on here. Flatten that down. Now eventually what we're going to do is make this a magnetic closure here. So about where you want it to close, you want to put that on there. You can also put a bunch of different kinds of embellishments on there. And you can pretty much do anything, but you can do something like this if you wanted. You can go ahead and have something like this if you want. It doesn't really matter what you put on top of that piece of ribbon, but I always put something on there to kind of make sure that you have a way to open and close it easily. So, and what's going to happen is you're going to put a magnet on the back, and then there'll be a magnet on the inside underneath this cardstock over here, so it snaps shut. So I'm going to take two magnets, I'm going to put one to the side. I don't care about that one right now. And I'm going to guesstimate from here about where I think I want the magnet to be. So I think I'm going to want it somewhere around there on the inside. So you can either take a ruler if you want, or you can eyeball it. So it's a little over an inch. And I want to make sure that's kind of lined up with the middle of this ribbon. Going to put some glue there, put the magnet down. It doesn't matter which side the magnet's on. Now you're going to take your other piece of paper and you're going to glue it down on this side. Make sure you dry fit it a couple times to make sure it's got the fit that you're looking for. You don't want to like go to glue it down and then it's not the right size. Just randomly throwing some glue there. Make sure you press that down real good. And now what you're going to do on the other side of the book is drop your magnet. It will find the spot on the other side. See, it's now connected here. That way you don't lose it. If you want now, before we go any further, you can go ahead and take your dab of glue and put it on top of your magnet. And make sure you go toward the end of your piece of ribbon. I would wait on this part though, because you want to make sure you have enough room inside the book to know where the ribbon needs to go. But if you leave that there, it won't get lost. So now you're going to take your 5 3/4 piece of paper. You're going to make sure you scored 1/4 on each side. And you're going to go ahead and kind of line this up. One second here. So I'd like the pad to sit somewhere around here. So I want to make sure that the holder for the pad is down below where the paper is glued to this top part. So for mine, I think I'm going to bring it down to about there. I'm going to try to line it up so it's even, and I'm just going to kind of fold this over. And I'm going to put some glue on where I folded down that tab. I'm not going to put it anywhere but on the little tab. I'll put it down. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just going to put a little tiny bit of glue on that tab. Now on this side, I'm going to take that pocket that I made that's 3 3/8 by 5 1/2, and I scored 1/4 inch around each side, and then I cut the corner out, and then I put a little at an angle, because when you fold it down and you're making a pocket, if you don't you want one part to lay flat and then the other part not to go over it, it's going to be funny. So you want to make sure your corners are tapered on one side if they're straight on the other. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a bead of glue on each of these folded parts. Again, this is scored at 1/4 inch, and then I pre-folded it already. And if you want, you can glue the corners down first. So fold the inside and then fold your tapered corner before you even adhere it, and put just like a little tiny bead of glue there. Just so it makes it a little easier when you go to put it down in the book. So not a lot, just like a little tiny bit. Now you're going to take your glue and you're going to put it all around, only where it's bent in at, not on the inside of the pocket. You want to leave that open, just on the edges. You want to try to be a little careful on this, because you don't really want it to go past. It dries clear, but I'd rather not get it on the cardstock. And now you're going to kind of just eyeball it. And then press it down. You can do so many things if you want for the pocket. If you have a hole punch, you can make it decorative if you want across the top. That'd be cute in there, especially if you have something underneath of it. You can do all kinds of things. So this is just your basic version of it. Now I'm going to take that 4 15/16 piece that I cut, and it should fit perfectly on this pocket with just a little bit of edge around it. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I think this is dry now. So what you're going to do is go ahead and make sure your notebook fits in here properly. So you're going to lift all your paper up. You're going to take the chipboard part of your notebook, and you're going to slide it down in. Like that. Then you're going to take the other little piece that you measured, and you're going to go ahead and glue it down there. And I'm just going to glue right over top of this piece they had on there. How cute is that? Come on, guys, that's awesome. You just slide something in that little pocket here. That's why you don't want to glue the inside of that pocket. So you want to make sure it's got a spot to put stuff. If you want to put like a little card in here, if you want to make a little tag, doesn't matter what you put in here, but you can put something in the little pocket, and that is the inside of the book. So to finish the outside, there are so many things you can do here. I literally have tons of embellishments and stuff that I have purchased that you can put on this book or in this book. It doesn't matter what you use. And again, it does not have to be a Christmas pattern that you use. If you had a different type of pattern you wanted to use, you could use some of these little metal accents, and you could just adhere it right to the outside of the piece of ribbon. You have these little Santa hats that you can put. These might be really cute. They're kind of on the big side. I think this is going to be too small. That would be too large. Put one of these wreaths on there if you wanted to. You can decorate your book, or you can put that as the opening if you wanted to. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little bit of glue right on the top side of this magnet, not the bottom side, because I don't want it stuck to the book. I want it to stick to the ribbon, but I don't want it to move spots. And I'm going to line the end of this ribbon up with that and press down. I want the magnet to stick to the ribbon, not the book. And if you glue it onto the book and then onto the ribbon, the book won't open. Don't ask me how I know that. I might have messed up one time. You can leave that sit there for a little while and dry if you want. It's completely up to you. And then what you would do is whatever you want for your embellishment there, and you go ahead and glue it to the top of that now. Actually, I really like the color. This one, I think it's a little large. Oh well, I like this one. I'm going to go with this one. So I'm just going to glue right on top of the foam. I'm going to leave that alone and let it dry for a minute. I'll be right back. Alright everyone, I've given this a few minutes to dry, and while I was doing that, I went into my stash and I found this, and I love it. It is so cute. So I think I'm going to wind up putting it right there. Just kind of embellish it a little bit further. And again, I'm going to go right over top of where the foam sticker part is and throw some art glitter glue there, because I don't want it to come off after I've stuck it down. I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball about where I think it would look good. You can leave it plain, you can embellish it, you can do whatever it is you want to do. Let your imagination go to work. Alright everyone, here is the finished product. I absolutely love it. I would love to get this in my stocking. It's gorgeous. Again, you don't have to do just a holiday theme. You could do whatever you wanted using any paper pattern. You can embellish it any way you want. You can leave it plain. It's completely up to you. Again, you don't have to put a larger thing here if you don't want to. You can put whatever you want on top of that ribbon. And here's what it looks like when it's open. This is one of my favorite paper projects to do. I love it. It's super useful. When you're done with this paper pad, you can just take it out and put another one in there. I've been to a lot of craft fairs where you're not able to remove the books from the little notebooks, and I think this solves that problem with having that little paper band there, that little cardstock band there, so you can remove the paper pad and put a new one in when you want to replace it. I absolutely love this design. Everyone I've given this book to loves it. Alright, that's all for me today, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, color happy, and remember, shh, it's our little secret.